Hey everybody, what's up? How you doing? Sorry I couldn't do any videos yesterday. I was running around, but I really wanted to. But I'm here today. You got me the whole day. So I'll make a bunch of videos. Trump's speech, fantastic speech, amazing speech, soaring rhetoric. I mean, lines like there is no problem in this country we can't fix. The time for small thinking is over. Powerful words, very moving. It's no surprise to me. I mean, I thought that was a speech of a very strong, visionary leader, optimistic, saying we can do it. No surprise to me that you saw the reaction on the part of investors, in the stock market, took it up 300 points on the Dow. I mean, that was just the speech of a strong leader, a visionary who said, yeah, we can fix things. We're going to do it. I mean, it was a great speech. There's nothing I can say. Now, having said that, however, let's just understand one thing. This whole entire rally has been running on expectation. And if we back up and if we think about the period leading up to the election, from August right up until the election, the prospect of Donald Trump being elected president was considered a very, very bad thing, a very negative outcome for the economy. As a matter of fact, from August leading up to the night of the election, the stock market was in a correction. It was trading lower, probably lost about 3 or 4%. Not a big correction, but it was in a funk during that whole period. And the night of the election, and I've spoken about this many times, and I was long going into the night of the election, when the first early results started to come in, which showed Donald Trump gaining in those swing states, the market plummeted. All right, the Dow futures were down 800 points. 800 points. So in the minds of investors, their worst fears were happening. All right, market was down 800 points. We would call that a crash. Absolutely. I mean, if that happened during the day, if people looked at that, let's face it, the day after the Brexit vote, the Dow was down 600 points. We called that a crash. It was down 800 points. Now, it's not like Donald Trump. And then, since the election, the market has been going up literally in a straight line. There has not been really, I mean, we've had days and days and days and days and days of new records. Now, some of you posting up comments saying, Mike, you don't understand. This is it's different this time. Let me tell you something. It's not different this time. I've seen it all. I've seen way crazier than this. I've been doing this for almost 40 years. I've been a member of 4 exchanges. I traded on 4 floors. I managed money for one of the biggest hedge fund guys. I ran a prop desk for one of the largest international banks. All right, I've traded futures, options, stocks, cash commodities, fixed income, Forex, you name it, I've traded all this. It's not different this time. I've seen it. I've seen way crazier than this. So don't think, this is something special. Everything has an explanation. Everything has an explanation, all right? There's a force and there's a reaction. This market has been going up on expectation. And if we back up and if we really analyze the sort of the psychology going on here, it's pretty incredible because, like I said, leading up to the election, and Trump was very, very open about what he wanted to do if he was elected president. It was not a surprise. I mean, he was saying the same stuff he's saying now. You got to give him credit for that because he's stuck to his plan. But that was all out and open. He was saying he wants to do a corporate tax cut and a middle class tax cut. He was saying that he wants to do a big infrastructure spending thing. He was saying that he wants to do fair trade, which is going to have some kind of border adjustment tax or taxing imports. I mean, he's saying he wanted to deregulate. All that stuff was out and it was known, but the big shots everywhere, they were decoding that as something very, very negative. They said it was going to be a trade war and it was going to be this and that and it was going to be terrible. And everyone had this irrational fear and they sold the market down when he started to win on election night. They crashed it. They crashed it, all right? And now suddenly they wake up and, hey, all that stuff is great. All that stuff is great. Well, you knew about that stuff. He didn't, it's not like he got elected and he said, oh, all that stuff I was talking about, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this thing. And then people said, yeah, that's the thing we wanted. No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But now we're up 15, 16%. And let's understand something. It's perfectly normal for people to change their view. All right. It's perfectly normal for the market to be driven by expectation. That's what happens most of the time. It could be driven by actual fundamentals, by a monetary condition. It could be driven by expectations, the belief. And we know that, I've shown you so many times that the beliefs by the vast majority of people, they're wrong. They hold the wrong beliefs. They hold the wrong beliefs about our monetary system. They hold the wrong beliefs about government spending and debt. They hold the wrong beliefs about everything, basically, about everything. All right, about trade. I mean, they hold the wrong beliefs. So now we're suddenly expected to go along with this belief, whereas 6 months ago, this was the worst outcome that ever could have happened, but now it's the best outcome. So fine, maybe it's the best outcome. We'll even go with that. Let's go with that. But now, nothing has been implemented. Nothing has been implemented, okay? We haven't had the tax cut. We haven't had the infrastructure spending. We haven't had the efforts to engage the foreign sector, to bring in greater demand from the foreign sector. We haven't had the tremendous deregulation that he's been talking about. None of these things, which, again, that's fine. It's an expectation, but now the expectation is pricing in a perfect scenario, an absolute 100% perfect scenario where everything happens. Is this rational again? This is not taking into account what any obstruction that might surface in Congress on the part of the Democrats or even people in his own party. This doesn't take into account the fact that the congressional calendar now is going to be filled up with things like immigration reform and repeal of replacement of Obamacare, which pushes the fiscal stuff way, way back. Way back. I mean, Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary himself, said the tax cuts at the earliest, we're talking August. And I read an article yesterday with Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan. He said that's not even going to happen till next year. And he's totally hooked in. Meanwhile, the stock market's up 16%. And even that is not so crazy, 16%. But the fact that, look, I've been doing this a long time, not to keep repeating myself. But normal markets are two-way affairs. You trade up, you trade down, you trade up, you trade down. Over time, there could be a trend in place where you gain, prices can go up, prices could go down. But when markets enter into a phase where they become one-way affairs, those are very, very dangerous markets. Very, very dangerous markets. They don't last that way. And that's what we have seen. We have seen a market that has been making record after record after record high after record high, day in and day out for I don't know how long now. I mean, this is a very, very dangerous situation. This is a very dangerous situation. And it is, again, based on pure expectation. Now, if you want some reality, because we know that all the plans that he has, which some of them are great plans, they're not reality yet. They're a plan. It's a plan. If you want reality, you have this for reality. You have a slowdown in the fiscal flows where basically we're flat year over year right now. And we've seen the adjustment in the IRS. The IRS tax refunds are going out. We're still flat year over year. That means no growth in federal spending, number one. We've seen a total collapse in the growth rate of bank credit, not just here in the United States, but also in China and other places. A collapse. It's not been a slow decline. We're talking about 40, 50, 60% contraction in the growth rate of bank credit, okay? We've seen that. We've seen the economy in the fourth quarter slow down by almost 50% compared to the growth rate that it was showing in the third quarter, all right? We saw the biggest quarter over quarter deterioration in the trade deficit ever. 77 billion net exports were deterioration in net exports, one of the components of GDP, biggest on a nominal basis ever. All right, we see home prices coming down. We see new home sales, and not existing home sales, new home sales coming down, auto sales coming down. The other day, durable goods orders coming down. Industrial production coming down. I mean, that's reality. Now, it's fine to run on expectation. I got no problem with that. I understand that. But I also understand that it's being driven by a crowd which 6 months ago said this was the most terrible outcome that could possibly happen. They not only did they say that, they sold the market down 800 points on the night of the election when Trump was starting to pull ahead. They sold it down 800 points on the night of the election when Trump, and now it's a wonderful thing for them. So, you know me, I talk a lot about language. I say never try to use highly emotional or overly descriptive language. You got to maintain an even keel. You've never heard me once use the term bubble, but I'm going to use it right now. The stock market right now is a bubble. It's a bubble. I'm hearing anecdotal evidence from people. You know, they go to work. Everybody's rah, rah. This is fantastic. Look at how much money I'm making. These are the same people that were not in the market last year. And I guarantee you, these are the same people that puked out their 401ks during the great financial crash, 9 years ago, 9 years ago. Same people. I guarantee you. Look, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this more than all of you, maybe with the exception of a few of you. I know one guy anyway. I've been doing this longer than all of you. All right, I've seen it. This is nothing. This is rinky-dink. This is small time. This is nothing. This is not some manipulation going on. It's not all of you saying, oh, you got it wrong, Mike. You don't know. There's something behind it. There's nothing behind the scenes. It's a classic. It's a classic bubble right now, all right? This is expectation taken to a level that, I don't know, it's almost childish in a way. It's almost childish. It's what a kid might think he's going to get from Santa Claus. All right? That's really the level that it's at. So I know how it's going to end. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel nervous. I don't feel stressed out. I know a lot of you do. A lot of you do from the standpoint, not just that you may be not losing anything, but you're not in it and you're beating yourself up. And that is a lack of detachment. I told you, I lost more money from not having detachment than any other behavior that I've had, any other bad behavior that I've had in my life, which caused me to lose money. Lack of detachment was the number one thing. And I know some of you, I know this. You're telling me it. I listen. And you're hearing your friends making all this money and you want to kill yourself. You want to beat yourself up. You're sad. You're depressed. I mean, that to me, that's the path to absolute ruin. When you think, I don't have that feeling. I'm not stressed out. I'm not nervous. I'm not worried. I watch it. It's curious to me. And if it's upsetting to me at all, it's upsetting in the sense that I know what's going to happen. I know how it's going to play out. So, and there's going to be a lot of people very, very, very hurt by it. Very hurt by it. I'm not going to be hurt because I'll be there, when things get really cheap. I mean, I'll be there. And believe me, it happens. It's going to happen. It's going to come down. Things will get cheap again. They're going to get cheap. We're going to have this discussion just like I had. You can go back last year and you can listen to me say there's going to come a time when everybody's going to be buying and I'm going to be selling. And, it's going to look crazy. And we're here. And there's going to be another time when everybody's going to be selling and I'm going to be buying. And all of you are going to be telling me, Mike, you're crazy. This is a crash. The Dow's going to 1,000. It's going to be a depression. We're going to have that too. I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm sure I'll be making more videos today. Yesterday I was really busy. But that's my thoughts for now. See you later. Bye-bye.